Hi there, Scorpios. You're the last sign of the water signs elements. Okay, I am doing a reading for you guys. It's around the new moon in Scorpio, so you could feel the intensity of this new moon. Okay, new moons often are new beginnings and certainly new energy. And we've all gone through the eclipses recently. Okay, the lunar and the solar eclipse. And I know there's been some dramatic change for a lot of people. And there's been all kinds of things. Yeah, and I personally lost my mother during the two eclipses very suddenly as well. So it's been very dramatic, very intense time for me. And I can assure you that I don't have Scorpio. Well, actually, Scorpio is in my 12th house. So that's also about death and endings as well. But right now we've got Mars in Scorpio, so there could be an element, and particularly if it's your sign, you might find that the Mars currently in your sign as well, with all the other aspects, things can be quite agitating to you, or there could be a certain sense of fieriness that maybe you're feeling. So be mindful, because I feel like in some way some of you could be wanting to fight, maybe defend yourself as well, or maybe you're feeling being attacked by other people or opinions of others. So I would say do taper off being on social media if you can. Maybe give yourself a bit of rest before the new moon itself. And if you're watching this at any time, any of the Scorpio placements, if you're here, I would say that whatever stage you are, perhaps you're already doing that as well, not really sort of cutting back on being on social media. I really recommend it. Okay, it really can mess you with your head, mess you with your energy field. The news is really bad at the moment, so I'll keep off the news. You know, just avoid it. You're going to hear what you need to hear. Trying not to get into swept into belief systems of what other people think. It's maybe time for you to release some belief systems about yourself as well. Very important. Again, I'm kind of getting a very mental energy for you Scorpions, although you are a water sign. Okay, I'm just going to move that out of the way. So let's have a look. I've got 4 tarot cards down here from the Light Seers Tarot, and lo and behold, you have got the Death card. So this is definitely some change for some of you. Maybe some of you are wakening up to be the light, all right? Maybe to really sort of see how you can shine your light in the world, okay? Because if you look at this particular Death card, unlike again the Rider-Waite, this is quite different, and we've got this woman wearing a figure with a cape, with a hood as well, and we see the trees, and I think somehow you are able to see things a lot clearly now, and this is a real time for some of you Scorpions. You're definitely wanting to flush out and come from a different place, maybe where you are able to see things clearly, and maybe you're being the guiding light for a lot of people. Okay, some of you could have actually shed a massive load of emotions from the past, maybe some belief systems about your past. Maybe you had, you know, we're always refining ourselves. Okay, it's just a constant work, believe me. No matter how elevated and how mature we become and how much spiritual work we become, there's always a maturing. Okay, we're always maturing, like a big tree. It never ends to, you know, shed its leaves and then keep on growing some more. All right, so this is what I'm saying. So wherever you are on your level of growth, seems to be you've arrived at a place of a rebirth. Okay, I'm going to open the next card. So yeah, I've got here the Page of Swords that's come out inverted, but this is a time for you to start reevaluating your priorities, okay, and seeing what really lights you up as well, particularly in this particular deck, the Light Seers Tarot. If you see, she's tiptoeing on a little sort of stick. Okay, and maybe things have been a bit sort of uncertain for you. Maybe you don't know where you've been standing or where you need to stand, but you have all the information that you need. Okay, it's within you. All right, some of you as well, maybe you might want to do a new course, maybe do something else, maybe some research that needs to happen. But I want you to sort of trust your instincts on where it's leading you. All right, this is really important, and hold on to your belief and your own decisions as far as moving forward is concerned. Perhaps some of you are wanting to shed some light out in the world, and you're going to do it your way, whatever that your way is. Maybe it's through the written word, maybe it's through a song, perhaps it's through some kind of artwork, or maybe even through a presentation, okay, that you're actually maybe going to be embarking on something new, something maybe more to do with the planet itself and maybe the world. And I feel with some of you there's been a massive shift, okay, and you're maybe rebirthing a new you that wants to be born. I think, yes, looking at the bottom of the deck here as well, I've got the Seven of Swords, the Knight of Swords, and the Six of Pentacles. Yeah, so after a little while of kind of taking some time out, there is going to be some movement forward where you're going to actually balance things out in your life, and perhaps even go for some new opportunities, a standout opportunity as well. And for some of you, it's something that you're really going to race towards to get there. Okay, as in you might be in a, when I say a race, it's more about like a personal enthusiasm that you might want to think, wow, I actually really want to do that, and I actually want to go for it, and maybe this is what I need to do, and kind of get very excited and quite intense about it. Okay, wow, you've got the Ten of Cups here and the Ten of Swords. Okay, very interesting. I wonder if some of you have had to let go of something. Maybe you've experienced a death, a literal physical death close to you as well, and maybe you're having to move on perhaps from that sorrow. I feel maybe somebody close to you, a family member or a friend as well. Okay, somebody in your inner circle or somebody you have known that's maybe really played a part in your life as well. But it's almost like I'm getting a message sort of saying they've gone over the rainbow bridge. So there could be definitely some kind of actual death, I would say, as well. Okay, but what's important is, I think for some of you as well, because there's been this massive change and ending that's gone on, maybe you see things in such a way that you're really able to walk away from what's not serving you anymore, that you're thinking, you know what, I really know what's not working for me, and I'm totally okay with that, even though if I can't see what the future is bringing me. All right, there's an element of she's walking into this vast space, a vast vista of the unknown. And there's something very freedom orientated of that, right? But it is a real opportunity, I find, for some of you Scorpions, to be very creative. What's nice is this is going to take you towards your community. All right, so if some of you have actually been experiencing some kind of ending as well, it's almost as if there's going to be a mega wish coming true for some of you, that this is something that you're feeling really excited about. There's something really that's going to nourish you on so many levels, and all your actually kind of energetic levels as well. You know, the level of security, the level of creativity, maybe something that's you're going to do something that's going to really empower you as well, because you love it so much, and it's so you that you feel very excited and empowered to actually go out and do and offer it to the world. Some of you actually could get into a relationship and maybe got some news about some possible birth that's happening, and maybe you're going to be a mother as well. But there's a real sense of union, a sense of great possibility, great excitement, and also I'm picking up some great love for some of you as well. But ride that wave, okay? Do not be afraid and run away from it. This is something really, really important. If some of you maybe met up with some sort of really great counterpart for you, again, try not to turn away from it, maybe because you're fearful of things that happened in the past, and maybe getting all into the negative energy in your thinking, and maybe thinking this can't be true, this can't be real, I need to stay on my own. There's this, you know, whatever it is, just notice that, you know, whatever's happening, even if it's not been a long time, there is a rebirth happening for you, so to allow it to come. Okay, like I said, this is not going to resonate with everybody, but this is what I'm picking up. I'll come back to these cards. Let's have a look at the surrender deck that I've got here for you. There should have been 1 or 2 cards, but I think you've got 3 that seem to have come out together. All right, so the first card I'm opening here is Surrender to Silence. I think this kind of, this death card as well really reminds me of that, because there's a sense of stillness in this death card. Okay, very poised, very quiet, and it's in the dark of the night, so you can see the constellation of the stars so bright. And normally when you see the constellation in the night sky, it's because there's so much vast space and it feels very quiet, very, very silent, very quiet. So I think there's an element of perhaps surrendering to that space as well, some Scorpions. Okay, so do take some time out, I would say, to meditate or to contemplate. It says here, let go and enter the stillness within. Silence can heal and replenish you. So I do feel some of you have gone through something possibly as well, not necessarily, but definitely what's your current situation is, if you are undergoing something, then definitely do go into that space of silence. It's harder, and it's getting harder and harder to do more and more, because we're full of distractions and you know, things going on. And if your mind is quite noisy, particularly, it's harder to do that. But going out in nature certainly will help you. But if you notice that there's like a building here, an island on its own. So I personally feel that take time out away from people and really kind of capitalize on a bit of that space. Okay, and make the most of it as well. So if you find yourself, you've walked away, or you're on holiday, or you're on some kind of personal journey, that you actually sort of carve out that place in silence for yourself. It may just also mean blocking people out. Okay, I forgot to put my phone, that made me jump actually, but the volume down there. But just to carve out that space so you're actually in that safe container for yourselves, okay, for some of you. All right, because what's going to happen when you go to that, you're going to get really inspired. I mean, the Page of Swords to me is a card of inspiration. It really is. It's a card of, mind. It's an act of mind. The mind is being sparked up with different things. And you see that she's holding these light bulbs, and it's almost like a light bulb moment. And these things tend to come to you when we can enter the silence, okay? Like literally just shut the TV off, the phone off, what have you. Now the second card, which I think is interesting, and I kind of touched on this, I wasn't wrong, was what I was saying about relationship. Here's surrender the fear of intimacy. So some of you, like I said, could actually really be getting a relationship, like a dream come true relationship. So I'm not used to this. I've had to go back on QuickTime Player. I had nightmares trying to film this today. Zoom wouldn't have it. My iPhone's not acting as a webcam, and the bracket broke anyway. So I'm having to do it through. So I'm sorry if the visuals are not very clear. The camera's not great. And I find it quite difficult to align with the camera here because of the way it just sort of reflects back, and it's different. But anyway, on to your reading. I feel like some of you, you are maybe afraid that you've been hurt before and you're kind of walking away. And like I said, something could suddenly come up that you didn't expect. A real kind of a person can come into your life that you weren't expecting. I think for some of you, there could be a real speed of another soul entering into your life that's going to give you a lot of joy and happiness. So I will say this, do not be afraid of, getting intimate again. Sometimes that's how life happens. Listen, I'll be the first agony aunt to say, give yourself some space, and don't go there. But I will say that sometimes it's just how it happens. But what I will say is take your time. Okay, build into it. Okay, maybe find out about that person a bit more, do some research, not background research necessarily, but listen out very intuitively. There's these birds talking to a head again, so really tune in and pay attention to any of the details of that person. Do they act on what they say? Okay, and all that. So it's good to sort of be discerning. That's the word I'm thinking of. Okay, but I will say that there could be a wonderful opportunity for some one or two of you there, maybe listening, maybe even more of you. Do comment if you like, but do not be afraid to allow yourself to be loved and loved. It says here, you're ready to let love in. Compassionately identify and begin to release any patterns that stop you from opening your heart. Again, there could have been, like I said, an end of a relationship, or you've come to an end about belief systems. Maybe for so long you've been doing some work and you've kind of been thinking, I don't know if I'm going to be able to have a relationship. I don't know if I'm any good in relationships. I've had a few behind me now, that kind of thing. Or, you may be afraid that you haven't learned some of the lessons and you're embarking onto something. But, you're not going to be able to stop love coming in. When it comes, it just comes. You're not going to be able to stop your feelings or your connection. That's how it works, unfortunately. And you can try and avoid it, but it's not really going to happen. All right. So, and the other thing is, I was just looking at the bottom of the deck here to do with the surrender deck as well. So like I said, this is a great one for that. Surrender yourself, to the attachments of results as well. Okay, sometimes we can get egotistical. This is your last card here. All right, so we've got the last card of the surrender deck. You had 3 that popped out. Okay, so the ego is the mind, or your ego is also, you're kind of like, maybe you're too big for your own boots. So again, this is going to speak to different people. You say, cultivate gratitude, be of service to others, and come from the heart. Okay, very much the 10 of Cups energy. A big ego can work against you, but humility will further your goals. All right. Again, this 10 of Swords, she's got her back face against kind of the world, and she's moving on. But sometimes we can get quite righteous as well, you know, as a protective mechanism about how things have happened, and I'm not going to let that happen to me again, and how dare they, you know, treat me like that. And that's very, of course, ego. You know, maybe you can be grateful that the person has come into your life, has taught you something about yourself, maybe given you a chance to rebirth yourself as well. And it's an opportunity now for you to maybe become humble and allow yourself maybe to take your lessons out to the world by sharing a story, maybe writing a vlog, a blog, or something, okay, or maybe communicating it through memes, that maybe something could help another person. All right, but I do feel some of you actually, you know, really a great opportunity to let that life in. Okay, I've got the surrender ego and the Ten of Swords together, so I really feel for some of you this is about letting go of your wounds, letting go of your kind of blame structure or any kind of sense of victimization as well, which is very ego, and allowing something new to come in. And I'm certainly going to pair this up as well. You know, they're really good pairings, those two as well. Some intimacy, see these two figures in this card here that they're just really close. You know, let yourself get close to somebody and let yourself be seen as well. Okay, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Scorpios. This is an opportunity for you to really allow yourself to be seen. Aside from being in a relationship as well, it's sometimes nice to be seen for really who you are, who you're becoming as well, you know. And when we start showing up to the world as well and really shining our light, as I was saying, you know, you're almost allowing people to come in more into your space as well and allowing yourself to be really seen and revealed. So there's a sense of intimacy in that. It's allowing life to love you and for people to be open to that love as well. Okay, so wherever you are on that scale, it could be a partnership, relationship, or just a sense of self. By really rebirthing yourself, you will allow some kind of more of you showing up. Okay, and always just be compassionate about where you are. Do not ever be afraid of your tears or embarrassed of how you feel or what you show to the world, because really it's a gift when you show up to be yourself completely. Okay, I'm going to leave the reading part here, but I am going to choose the Soul Journey deck and see if there's a card that wants to come out. Okay, for Pisces, I use the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. I'm coming back to the Soul Journeys deck. And let's see what other supporting card and message we've got here for you, Scorpios. Let's have a look. Let's see if one's going to pop out. Otherwise, I will choose one. Okay, I've got two here that stuck to my hand. Okay, so I've got the notion of surrender to surrender here. Okay, so again, really giving in. So that's a double whammy. All right, I've also got grief. So some of you, like I said, could have experienced a loss, all right, like I said earlier on, somewhere right at the beginning of the spread, maybe some ending, some grief, okay, that needs to happen. Okay, you know, try not to be overstoic or too egotistical maybe about what's happened, and be very brave and putting a brave face on. Allow maybe some sense of loss or some sense of experience to happen. Okay, it says here on the card of grief, I'll read this one first. I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. All right, so again, this is very about the ego card. It's very together as well. Cultivate gratitude, be of service to others, and come from your heart. A big ego can work against you, but humility will further your goals. And that was also about the gratitude. You know, maybe a relationship ended and you actually kind of feel a bit bitter about that, and maybe you're not even accepting of it. Okay, with the surrender card here as well for some of you. Something, maybe if one or two of you actually holding on to something, just allow that to happen, trying to release it. Okay, because the death card also is very much about surrendering control. Okay, when something needs to die, it just needs to die. Okay, you just have to allow it for it to happen. In fact, the more you resist the sense of death or what's being lost, the more painful it is, and the more you kind of suffer as well. So while there's two things happening, honor what's happened, honor the change that's occurred, the grieving that needs to happen, and really surrender the need to maybe hide your feelings even, and just allow the feelings to come as they need. Okay, because that is what message I have for you here as well. I think I'm just going to pull one more card. Let me sit at the bottom of this desk. Yeah, just, oops, this has come out. Just one more. Let me just quickly see if there's a card that wants to sort of support this reading, just from the Wisdom of the Oracle card. I'm going to go for this top one. Yeah, this is a really time for you to come home to yourself. Okay, so whatever, this is almost the death and rebirth card, where you can take shelter in your own self. Okay, the no place like home is when you also can actually take shelter, not only in an external home that's more true to you, but I feel that this particular card, when it comes to the self, is talking about really allowing yourself to come to the sense of yourself. So really releasing, you know, needing to have control, you know, allow yourself to feel what you need to feel, to be who you need to be, and to shine that light as well from wherever you are. Okay, this is almost a double whammy for me, but if you see that, you know, there's this light coming through the windows in the home, that I've got it on the bottom camera much clearer. All right, so again, to allow yourself to be who you are, and also maybe to trust wherever it is that you're going to. All right, you're moving towards somewhere that actually much more authentic and much more truthful for you. And this could definitely, certainly lead you to a partnership for some of you as well. If you don't see it coming, be aware that this is something that could be coming. Like I said, almost a heightened wish come true. This is something you've been really desiring for a very, very long time. And one more last thing I'm going to say about this reading for you, Scorpions, get back into your inner child as well. Okay, be really playful. Allow yourself to really enjoy your successes, and allow yourself to enjoy your playtime as well. You know, let things happen in a joyful way like a child would, so you can actually allow to reap the rewards of you coming back to yourself. Okay, and just having to release control, because kids, you know, they don't, you know, if you look at really young kids, they don't control anything. They just go from one thing to the other. They're just really flowing with life. And I think that is where the magic and the gift is as well. So there's a lot of messages here, you know, different kind of messages, certainly for a loss for some of you as well. But just recognize that even through a loss, there's a gift. And I don't know if I said this earlier at the beginning of the video, but I've just lost my mother 2-3 weeks ago. So I've been going through different days. Yesterday I was so bereft, and I was so upset and beside myself and upset and grieving. Today I feel less so, although I can get triggered quite quickly with a sense of loss. But at the same time, I've also been really aware of the gift of having my mother as for my mother, and all the lessons I learnt through her being teaching me through on a soul level a lot of things about myself and where I've needed to grow, not necessarily through her, but through her being my mother, and all the sort of inner child issues that I've had to deal with and overcome, and all that that really has shown up in my life. And that is a gift that she's given me as my mother. So I'll leave that there. So, you know, there are gifts to be found in any difficult situation as well, and through any relationship. So if something's come to an end, do take the nuggets of gold or learnings away with you, so you can move on to somewhere that's going to be much more peaceful and far more coming authentically as yourself, or for you. All right, Scorpions, I'm going to leave it here. Thank you very much for listening. Any newcomers who are Scorpions, if you're cross-watching or whoever you are, for listening, thank you very much for being here. I've had some new subscribers as well. I'm always amazed, as I haven't been posting for the last 2-3 months because I've had a lot of stuff going on. But I'm really glad to be back doing my best here under the circumstances of 2 moves and my mother passing. But here I am, just wanting to get back and do this, which is something I really enjoy as well. So much love, and I'll catch you in my next new moon video. Lots of love. Bye for now. Bye.